My name is Douglas Hopper, and I work with National Public Radio. We're based in Washington, D.C.
I am Tani Lin. I work for Reuters, and I write on health and science for the Asian region.
My name is Ingrid Brown, and I'm a senior reporter with the Jamaica Observer newspaper, and it's one of 2 daily newspapers on the island.
I am Jaswinder Sehgal, who comes from India. I'm a freelance broadcaster. I work for different media organizations.
Right. My name is Sunday Chongo. I come from Zambia. I work for Voice of America English to Africa Services as well as Radio Phoenix.
My name is Noor Alam Sherzai. I'm a freelance Afghan radio journalist. I'm based in Canada, Toronto, Canada right now.
Journalist to Journalist was started in 2002 in connection with the International AIDS Society conference in Barcelona. The backgrounds go about 6 months prior to that, when we were looking for a way to bring journalists from the developing world together with journalists from more developed countries who had been writing and broadcasting extensively about HIV/AIDS for quite some time. We wanted to maximize the ability of journalists who were just then getting into coverage by having them be mentored by their colleagues. At the same time, we wanted to find a mechanism that would respect the needs that journalists have to learn in a certain kind of way, to learn by asking questions. Asking questions becomes a fascinating process because the people the journalists can speak with are not only their colleagues, but very, very importantly, the world's leading experts on HIV, on AIDS, on prevention, on behavioral issues, on epidemiology. This is a real basic science grounding for the journalists, and they are talking to people from around the world who devote their lives to this subject. So it is a very, very important part of the process.
I mean, I think what's really great is that it's so diverse. There's such a broad range of information. It's not all technical, it's not all sort of focused on individual stories. It was really, I was impressed and really happy that there was such a broad range of information presented. I did need to learn about some of the very basic things that maybe some other journalists who specifically cover HIV and AIDS all the time already know. But for me, it was really important to get some of those basics.
This is my consecutive J2J program. I do remember the year 2004 when I attended my first J2J program at Bangkok. Before that, I was simply a journalist, simply a broadcaster who knew that AIDS is a disease which causes a lot of deaths, and India is number 2. This was all. But after that J2J at Bangkok, everything changed. I knew much about this deadly disease. I knew the status of the people who are living with this deadly virus. What is the status of the women? What is the state of microbicides, female condoms, lots of. So it created interest of mine in this deadly virus. Similarly, I pressed my editors to work on these issues. So firstly, they were annoyed. They said, no AIDS, only 2 stories, that is much. But here in J2J at Bangkok and now here in Mexico, I am having so many ideas that my editor is bound to take my story.
In my newsroom, I remember once my editor told me that HIV will never be more important than any other news unless they find a cure for AIDS. For him, the only big news that could come out of HIV is if they have found a cure. And so we need to start showing, our editors that HIV is just more than just a disease, but it affects the country's economy, it affects the people, it affects the country's resources, etc. And if more reporters, even those that do not cover health exclusively, could benefit from this, then in some way, shape, or form, that would be just, absolutely fabulous.
that journalist can expect to work really hard, to be pretty burned out, but also quite excited by the end of the 4-day program, to end up hating my guts because of all the work I've put them through, and to really be inspired to first attend the International AIDS Society program that will follow immediately upon the conclusion of our program, and then also to go back home an awful lot smarter than he or she was before.
Regarding J2J program, I have only one word, that is excellent, excellent and excellent.
The program has been exciting, extraordinary, wonderful.
The program was very interesting, and the way that the organizer of the program, the way that they were guiding journalists how to cover the program was very interesting.
Since being in this training, I have, automatically just see a lot of different angles that I can take my articles from.